Hey everyone, it's Amanda from HeismanHealth.com, and I am going to talk Harmonics Embodiment experience here with Dominique Oyston. So as soon as I see her, I will invite her on. But as you guys are joining, go ahead and say hello. Let me know that you're here. When you're watching the replay, say replay love in the comments below, and let me know that you see me. Let me know you can hear and see me okay, and let me know that you're watching the replay. Hi, there she is. So let's see if we can get her on. Where's my invite button? Inviting Dominique. Guest request. Allow viewers to request. Yes. Dominique. See, no. Usually there's like just a quick button to press to invite you. This is interesting that it's not here. Maybe it has something to do with the orientation? Nope. So I'm fascinated that the option to invite you is not here. Can you request to join, Dominique? Do you have an option to request to join me? Okay, interesting. Is your phone in landscape mode? We have to be in the same mode. Interesting. Okay. Ah, hey. Add. Approve. Awesome. Adding all the way from Australia.
Hello. We made it.
We did it.
I think the key was being in the same mode, like when you said landscape mode.
Okay.
Yeah, the phones obviously have to be able to speak to each other intuitively.
Right. And now we got it. We're on the same wavelength or frequency, if you will.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for jumping on with me, Dominique. I'm so excited to have you on. And
This is beautiful.
yes, I'm really excited to collaborate with you and everyone in the Harmonics experience. And you guys, I've just really been getting like, hey Olivia, how you doing? Definitely say hello, guys, as you're joining. I've really been enjoying getting to know Dominique and her work, and it's all about the voice and expression, and she's a trained opera singer. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Dominique.
Okay, well, hello everybody. Yes, as Amanda said, I've had an operatic career, but I've always been interested in everything about the voice. So I've done musicals and learned to belt. I've done sort of folk singing and learned to sing with the Irish band and cabaret. And And I've also been really interested in the spiritual voice
Yeah.
and what that means. And the whole thing has kind of come together through this, I don't know, 25-year career of being on stage and being with different sorts of audiences, to this understanding that there is an aspect of the voice that has really been we've been disconnected from perhaps 3,500 years, and that's everything to do with the feminine voice.
Yeah.
And all the things that align with, that feminine principle, that polarity feminine principle. It's not necessarily exclusively men and women, but the idea that the feminine is supposedly aligned with intuition and emotion and feeling. And so we've been really disconnected from our intuitive capacities and how the voice opens up our intuitive channels.
Right.
And our emotional channels, how to let the emotions flow fluidly through the voice, and with intelligence, that we can manage that and we don't kind of avoid and run away.
Mm-hmm.
And the embodiment picture, the body, how does the body speak to us, and how do we listen to those messagings?
Yes.
So there's almost like there's a whole world to be rediscovered of the voice, and people are often turning up with half a voice to their
Right.
talks, to their messaging, to their purpose and their journey, and of course they lack confidence if you're turning up without that full spectrum understanding of how your voice delivers who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would relate to eating as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just like bursting with excitement. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Henrik. Um, because the voice is something that I've been working on for a long time, but I haven't heard anybody talk about it the way you're talking about it. So the last 4 or 5 years, I've really been opening getting into my creative expression and speaking my message, if you will. And even just in these little calls with Jen and Amy, been working on this area and especially the back of the throat. So I love how you talk about the full volume and the different highs and the lows and everything. So it's just totally fascinating to me to see you work your magic.
I guess it's the embodiment piece. One thing that being trained as an opera singer gives you is that you have to be able to make your voice be heard
Yeah.
over a 40-piece in a 2,000-seat auditorium with no microphone.
Yeah.
And so you have to understand how the body delivers the voice. And I think this is really something that people are really starting to do, the energetic principles of the voice, but there's still not that connection between soul, psychology, the mental field, the emotional body, the energetic vibrational body, and how that interpenetrates the physical.
Yeah.
And this is really, I guess, my work is that it has to actually manifest in the physical at some point.
Right. Yeah. And I see a real mirroring in what I do as far as the feminine kind of being repressed is one of the ways that's happened is with our relationship with our bodies, with food, with looking outside of ourselves instead of within for ideas about what nourishes us. So if you guys don't know me, if this is the first time you're seeing me, I'm Amanda Heisman. I'm a nutrition intuitive and an energy embodiment coach, and I help people eat more intuitively and eat for energy. And I teach intuitive eating, but I also channel the needs of the nourishment body. So I can channel what might be the next best step for you in your physical journey at this moment. I also heavily explore the spiritual and emotional sides of nourishment, what it means to be fully nourished and what it means to be kind of in the energy of nourishment rather than the energy of like dieting or restriction or shoulds and should nots around our body, around our relationship with food and what we eat. So really turning more to that energy within and that innate wisdom within that always knows what we need to nourish ourselves, to nourish our bodies, our unique bodies. So I'm really excited to do this little demo with Dominique today. If you guys haven't been keeping track, there's 6 of us harmonicians that are all putting on this amazing event on August 27th, and 6 different practitioners, and we've been giving little mini demos here on each other of what our work is like, so you guys can take a look at what we do. So we've got Dominique doing the voice, I'm doing the nourishment, Amy, I was on a live with her the other day, she's doing mantra, Brenda's doing color, reading color, Jen is doing soul language, Polly's doing the elements. So it's really exciting. Let's just get right into it. Did you have anything else you want to say in introduction?
No,
Okay.
no. Let's do a eating on one another. That's really exciting.
Do it. Yeah. Would you like to receive first or give first?
Can I give first?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be delighted.
Okay. So to start with, I mean, there's lots of things coming through for me, but do you have a particular question about your voice?
I don't have any particular question right now. It's just been kind of an ongoing work with me. I've had a lot of trauma in my neck in this lifetime.
Yes.
I've suffered a lot of,
Yeah.
and the last, it was about almost 7 years ago, the car accident that started from. But I would say really the last 5, this progression of finding my voice and expressing myself in a really true and authentic way. And it just keeps getting more and more robust, if you will, more and more whole. And I know there's definitely more to come. I still have physical things like with my jaw and my neck that definitely, especially at the end of the day, which it is the end of the day in where we are. We're all over the world, guys. Yeah. Dominique's in Australia, yes, obviously. I'm in Eastern time zone. So especially at the end of the day, I can get neck aches, headaches, jaw aches, things like that.
Okay. So the physical, it's interesting when there's a trauma around this area. The jaw's usually a place that I call the jaw the guardian. So the guardian is this idea that the jaw looks after your survival. Animals bite and fight with their jaw. We eat with our jaw. If we had no jaw, we couldn't eat. And so this incredible strength, this root, it represents the root chakra on the facial chakras. And so incredible strength to fight and survive and take care of you and guard you lives in the jaw. So anytime we encounter something new, or when our survival energies are a little bit weakened, say, as you say, at the end of the day when we're tired, the jaw will start to work. And it will start to come in to say, okay, I have to step up here and I have to do a bit more work to keep you safe because I can feel your survival energies are flagging, or if there's a trauma event like a car crash, the jaw will start to set. And it will gather its strength and it will gather its determination to really take care of you. That's its job on that very primal level.
Yeah.
And what that does, it ties into all the muscles around the back of the neck, the suboccipital, into the shoulders, and even the throat itself. And we end up with this, I guess, this little huddle of, we're all just kind of trying to keep each other safe. And this affects the voice in a very profound way because the larynx gets pulled into that, and then it gets pulled into this slight sort of experience of defending and being in tension. And you'll probably have physical reactions as I'm talking. That's kind of normal. You might yawn, things like that. And what happens is when the jaw is in this state and the muscles around the suboccipital are in this state, we then feel we have to push through to communicate.
Yeah.
So this slight pushing in the voice happens. And what I teach is that the voice requires that we do the opposite. The voice requires that we actually drop in and expand our inner space, and that we tell our jaw it's okay, we're safe.
Yeah.
We're safe, we're safe. We expand our throat. We soften this little part of the body, which is called the sternum. We soften that, we soften the shoulders, and we soften the suboccipital. And the energy that is needed then needs to shift to the solar plexus.
What are you saying? The suboccipital is this area on the back, like under the occipital?
Yeah, the suboccipital are those two bumps, that area, and the two bumps where the top of the neck meets the head, and a lot of people contract there. The muscles contract, and a lot of people, you know, when it travels up the shoulders and up the neck, it hits the suboccipital and it can't go any further. So we get tension there, and it's all part of this survival story. Can you relate to that?
Yes, absolutely. And I love that and this is a practice I use, is to say, it's okay, sweetheart, we're safe. And I don't recall ever doing it to my jaw, you know, I don't recall ever like giving it that acknowledgement. I've done it definitely with different body parts, but it's okay, sweetheart, we're safe, like you can relax. That feels really amazing. And you're saying drop it into the solar plexus?
Yes. The solar plexus is traditionally our place of, on an energetic level, our personality and our personal power. But for the voice, it's the place where we kind of kick sound in, like that. Ha, he, ha, hoo, ha. That all comes from the belly. And that energy in the breath that motivates the voice comes from the belly. It doesn't come from the throat. The throat is the place of artist, really. It's artistic, it's delicate, it's a place of purification, and the power muscles are in your belly.
Yes.
And so on the face, if we're actually relaxing the throat, opening up the inner space, and for you particularly,
I just want to invite anyone at home to do this with, you know, I'm going to be doing these exercises, but if this resonates with you, definitely do it with us and ask questions. Thank you for the blessings, Brenda and Mr. Knox. But definitely participate if this is resonating with you, and especially if you have a tight jaw or neck and you want to kind of sink into this energy, definitely do it with us. Go ahead. And I love that you said the bit, this is kind of mirroring what Jen said, but the bit about the survival and having to push to communicate or be understood, rather than having that relaxed full space there. It feels very true.
Yeah, because I mean, if the jaw's in survival mode, then we have to work to get past it, don't we?
Yeah.
And if we actually relax our jaw out of survival mode with, as you say, quite literally hands on, I'm safe, it's okay, all is well.
All is well.
We can relax a bit. Yeah. And feel that space inside us expanding rather than pushing through, reach a space outside of us.
Right.
So it's just coming back into postural alignment, telling the jaw it's safe, and then starting to energize from the solar plexus muscles and feel the vitality in the solar plexus, which many of us do not feel. A lot of us feel there's an empty hole in the solar plexus area. And I honestly think this is the jaw doing too much work.
Yeah.
To not express too much or not let too much in, or just to keep us safe. And so when we actually transfer some of that workload to personal expression on the solar plexus, then the jaw can relax a bit. And then it can take the pressure off this kind of huddle of tension. And we start to expand. Can you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that body wisdom, the voice is so connected to body wisdom. It's the voice loves body wisdom, actually. Loves it. For you personally, the place you can focus your expansion is actually in these side ribs just here.
Okay.
So it's like almost like they float open a little bit more. And then we don't take these breaths into the shoulders, which are the panic secondary breathing muscles.
Yeah.
The primary breathing muscle is that diaphragmatic membrane that dissects us at the belly level.
And you're talking
You
both
feel that?
both sides kind of expand with the breath, right?
Yeah.
It's such a different feeling.
And add one more thing to that. Relax the back of your tongue.
The back of my
Tongue.
tongue.
Yeah. So just relax it so it's not engaging. It's not doing anything. It's just letting the air move past it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, isn't it?
That's so nice. I just want to do that the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done breath work before where you breathe with your diaphragm and you breathe with your belly, but this feels very different and more engaging and happening with more ease.
Yeah. This is Breathe to Speak. This is something I've created called Breathe to Speak.
Breathe to speak.
And it's different from the yogic breath, which still takes you into the belly, but the yogic breath is designed to really take you into inner processes, whereas Breathe to Speak actually takes you into the inner process in preparation to deliver an external action.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like being...
And when the voice is at, when the voice flows from there, it's connected into the body, the lower body.
Yeah.
You know, it has access to the lower body. Most of us are kind of speaking from the heart up, really, energetically. So to actually take it down into the solar plexus and to relax the tongue and soften the jaw hinge and soften the throat. So the air just moves right down into the lower lung. Mm-hmm. And we allow ourselves to expand our bellies, which many of us hold our tummies in, don't we?
Yeah. It's just gorgeous. Olivia says that her jaw is always tight. Are you doing this exercise with me, Olivia? Because it's already just kind of melting the tension away as I'm doing this breathing and picturing and feeling these. I'm using the word diaphragm. I don't even know if that's correct. You used a different word to describe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Picturing that expanding, relaxing the back of my tongue, and really making a lot of space there. And letting her know it's okay, sweetheart, all is well. Dominique, do you have question? Do you have anything that you see around like allergies or postnasal drip or things like that as far as the voice and the throat?
Yeah,
in general,
to me, it's
for
this.
me?
To me, when we actually have to drive the voice past the jaw tension, if there's jaw tension, we tend to have to push the voice forward.
Mm-hmm.
And when we push the voice, and we won't be conscious of it, it's an energetic, subtle kind of almost like an unconscious having to work the voice forward. It takes it into the nasal passages and the sinus passages, and it does create a certain amount of incredibly subtle, what I would call etheric level tension. And by etheric, I mean the energy body, the pranic body, the chi body, the ka body, that it creates a sort of tension. And that energy body relies on flow. If you think of Van Gogh, the painter, who did all those swirls around the trees. That's the etheric. And all those ancient goddess spirals. The etheric body moves in these incredible sort of waves and circles. And if we're driving, even on an unconscious level, the voice directionally on an energetic level, then there will be a constriction around that flow, you know, that natural movement of the energy around the body. And anywhere there is constriction, what can happen is those energies can become congested and build toxins and become less functional at clearing. So that's a sort of subtle level explanation, and it ties in with just that ability to expand here and let the messages do their work of clearing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and it makes sense intuitively as to geographically where who I'm surrounded with and where I am as well, and how that's affecting my voice and my body in this way.
Yeah, and it's almost like we have to allow our voice to drop lower and lower into the body, and to just let it start to, you know, rather than being held as part of that original survival, almost like a gesture. It's a collective gesture of the tongue, throat, jaw, back of the neck. It's so that collective vocal gesture, if we can actually let the larynx start to relax down towards the breath more, and the tongue to be freely responsive to articulation, the jaw to be allowing more in and allowing more out softly, then this area becomes more alive.
Right.
So independence of activity, really, that we're starting to articulate with the voice. And it makes our voice sound interesting. Like it brings our voice to life. It really does. Yeah. Because the voice is moving in a more natural way.
Right. Do you have any examples to share of folks that you've worked with who you, like a story or two of how their voices have completely transformed?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that.
Absolutely. Okay, so for instance, one girl I was working with just the other day, she had a huge amount of jaw tension. She's always had jaw tension, and she's done tons of work to actually resolve the jaw tension. She's very still here. And this is quite common for Australians. Australian speakers are real, like we speak on the horizontal, we don't move our mouths much, and we kind of speak there, and it goes into these sort of nasal passages here. So that's a common Australian speaking pattern. And so she was really still. And this zone of the face represents the sacral chakra. And of course, sacral is luscious, abundance, creativity, juice, female kind of dynamic, and that Aphrodite dance. And so if you're very still here, the voice is going to be very dead. And it's going to have no juice in it, all right? And so she was trying to relax her jaw, poor love, without realizing that this needed to do some of the work. So the jaw's working because the other parts of the face are not. And no matter how hard you tell your jaw to relax, something has to do the work to deliver your sound and deliver your message. And so I was getting her to do all these sort of like, you know, when a horse kind of like sticks its top lip out like that. Yeah. And so I was getting her to speak like that and really exaggerate, and her entire voice changed. And immediately her jaw, like years and years of jaw work, it relaxes instantly. And this goes, oh, I get it. I get the picture of, what my jaw was doing. Right. It was doing the that the rest of the physical body wasn't doing.
Right.
So that's a really, that's a really direct example of how, when someone has done a lot of work on their soul stories, on working on their emotional stories, their energetic, lining up their chakras, or their psychology and the unconscious, but there's still that block. We can actually, the voice has an incredible capacity to resolve that on the physical.
That's just gorgeous. I love that. I love that. Well, I'm so very grateful for all of that information and that shift that I felt just now from experiencing that with you. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share or say to feel complete with that?
I guess that the thing we need to know about the voice is that it is the place we are told that we become like the gods. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the creative beings, the creative force, and that
Mm-hmm.
the original energy created through the Word. And it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like saying we have been gifted this tool to recreate ourselves, to create
Yes.
our purpose, to open that purpose, to create the physical form, the energetic form that penetrates that physical, like everything that we could possibly imagine creating can be created through the voice. And I
Yep.
think this is really an underestimated message. It's almost
Definitely
like
is.
forgotten.
Yeah, definitely is a forgotten message. In the beginning, the Word was God and the Word was with God, what you just said. I've been noticing a quickening lately of what I speak coming to form like that. Just like
Yeah.
very, yeah. I talk about a blue jay and then a blue jay appears. Like, I've been noticing that happening a lot lately. So it's, that's a wonderful recognition of the divine. I just want to ask if it looked like you broke up for a minute and there might have been a lag. Is everybody seeing and hearing us okay? Let us know in the comments. But thank you so much, Dominique. That was amazing. It was absolutely incredible.
My pleasure. I think,
Yes.
yeah, I'm really aware that I have a certain task in rebirthing, a certain understanding, and it's related to the feminine. This
Yeah.
rebirthing we're seeing all around us in the world of rebirthing the
Mm.
feminine experience in so many different ways. And so my
Yeah.
little piece of the puzzle is that this is what the voice can do in relation to that rebirth.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And it is unique to what I've seen out
Yeah,
there. So, yes.
anyone doing it.
No.
And I think
So,
it's that performance career, that deep understanding of the physical body combined with that obsession I have with understanding the spiritual through the physical.
yeah.
Yeah, the physical definitely gives you a different perspective.
Mm. Beautiful. I want to share this. I'm thinking of my sister right now. She's a trained trained singer and musician. She teaches music, and I just want to I want her to see this. She's coming to my mind and heart right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
thank you so much for sharing your gift with the world, Dominique. I'm really appreciative of it.
Pleasure.
And now
You're just
I'm
floating.
all like, woo!
Yeah.
Now we're gonna flip the script, and I'm gonna go ahead and read for Dominique now. So I'm gonna read her nourishment body, but I'll go ahead and ask: is there anything particular you want to share, or anything health-wise or food-wise that you have questions about?
Yeah, I used to love food and had a really like loving relationship with food, and that's sort of been brutalized a bit by uh I have, a husband and two sons, and
Mm-hmm.
children can be really fussy with food.
Right.
And my husband and I just eat completely differently. Like I would happily live on rice and dal and satay and that real A blood type kind of
Hmm.
relationship with food, and they're all meat, and I want to go vegan, and it's like so it's almost like everything's too hard around it.
Okay.
Sense of it in my home, and so I've really retreated from food. I want someone else to just feed me.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's feeling heavy and like a struggle sort of thing right now.
Yeah.
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 So what is like a day in the life of Dominique as far as food is concerned? If
Oh, I would have a soy latte with honey in the morning, and I might have um, hummus on toast, or egg on toast, or avocado on toast for breakfast. And then I might or might not have lunch, and I'll have, I don't know, whatever we get around to making at dinner time that seems to suit everybody. So it's pretty disconnected. And every now and then, I go to the shops and I'll see blueberries and I'll go, oh, I just have to eat a whole punnet of blueberries or a whole punnet of strawberries. I love berries. Yeah.
yeah, I love berries
So,
too.
yeah, yeah, really love berries.
Your
Don't
video
eat a lot
kind
of
of
sugar.
broke up in the middle there a little bit, but you were saying like toast and hummus and then anything like whatever shows up for dinner sort of thing.
Yeah, well, to please everybody, I know, and this is a bit sad. We might make sausages and mash. I eat people's leftovers because I don't really want to eat that meal.
Right.
Like, and I'll add some salad to the left. Like it. This is the sad part. The food is probably the saddest part of my life. I think it's the most disconnected. So I'm really fessing up here.
Yeah. Oh.
Revealing the secret food shame closet. Yeah.
Well, no, I
But
appreciate your authenticity and I think it's totally relatable. I mean, Brenda's here like echoing you, saying nothing, nothing like a bunch of testosterone to affect the food on the table. I have a husband and 3 sons, so I get this. Wouldn't it be great to have a food fairy? I think this is a lot of, she can so relate. I think this is a story of a lot of parents, especially with school-age children. I've, I don't have kids, but I'm an auntie and I've done a lot of help in that arena, so I know what you're talking about. Um, what if you had it all your way? What would you feel like? What do you think you'd feel like eating?
oh, things like uh, like stir fried veggies with peanut sauce and um, rice and dal and soups and salads and yeah, a lot more food that I feel like this is interesting, I can talk to. I feel like, see, I sing a lot to plants
Mm-hmm.
and I love singing to grass. So, I
Mm-hmm.
love grass. And I think I feel like I can understand what that food does to my body. Whereas the whole sort of processed food, meat, kind of what I consider to be non-imaginative food,
Mm-hmm.
I can't relate to that
Yeah,
as,
you're
something.
having trouble getting in resonance with it, so to speak.
Yeah, because, animals are something that I would not naturally kind of see as food.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas the plant world, I seem to understand that as food, that cycle of um, everything eats everything,
Right.
and that I feel like the plant world and I have a food relationship that makes sense to me. That's a bit esoteric, I know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's a way of eating that kind of matches your energy and needs to resonate with you. What would it be like to like cook for yourself once or twice a week and have kind of leftovers to pull out? Is that something that feels like doable while they eat their thing, or is that something that feels heavy because then you're making 2 meals sort of thing? Or can you? jig jog it.
Yeah, I think I could do that if it was once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
it's interesting because my little son, my 10-year-old, he always wants to cook.
oh,
And so he's quite strong-willed, and so we end up cooking what he wants. And I could actually say, we're going to cook something that mummy wants. Do you want to join in?
yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of times they do, right? They want to help.
Mm.
Let me see.
Mm.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tune in now and see what your higher self has to say about this. Is that okay with you? Do I have permission to connect with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So feel free to just have an open posture, an open intent. You can close your eyes or not, whatever feels good for you. And I'm going to come connect with you. The crickets are singing their song. They're using their
And
voice.
I'm just going to plug my phone in because I'm just worried it'll cut out. So I'm just disappearing out of the shot for one moment.
Okay, no problem. You guys let me know if you can't hear me over nature. I wanted to be outside. How we evolved in our house is the men cook the meat and I take care of all the green and veg. It's a happy outcome. Yeah, that's generally how I've seen it done a lot too, Brenda. Okay. That was a warm welcome. Your higher self is just recognizing and appreciating you on your journey right where you are. Just letting you know. She's kind of giving you a big energetic pat on the back and a hug and a high five and just letting you know how great a job you're doing for yourself and for your nourishment body. She's really excited about the berries, like all berries, equal opportunities with the berries. I mean, and this makes a lot of sense, the blue and the throat, but all berries, blue, straw, black, raspberries, mulberries. Berries are really wonderful and supportive of your energy and your work. They are doing this is really interesting because it ties in with my work as well. They are doing there's like a berry dance happening right now around you. The berries are dancing around you in this, it's almost like this double strand sort of dance swirling about. It's really pretty. It's really playful. And you're just enjoying the dance. It's really beautiful. It's also a reminder to kind of enjoy the dance, whatever you choose, and you do have the free will to choose whatever food you want to nourish you. Have that dance. I mean, have that playful feeling about it, that ease, that joy in whatever you choose to eat and whatever you choose to nourish your body. If it's not something that's going to give you that joy that like the berries do, then maybe don't choose it. Just kind of like being reminded of your sovereignty there. Do you take magnesium?
I have a topical magnesium that I use. So maybe that's not enough.
It feels like you could do well, at least for a little while, with the magnesium. You could do citrate. You could do mag citrite. You could vary it with a mag oxide if you wanted. Like just a normal dosage. I'm hearing for 2 months would be really helpful for you. Magnesium is a really common deficiency. Magnesium and zinc are really common deficiencies. It's not. Yeah, you're not super deficient, but it would be helpful. The zinc is coming up too, like more like an every other day. I don't know if you take zinc. It's interesting because oftentimes I get the foods for people that with those vitamins and minerals, but you're being asked to actually take a supplement.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of joy. There's a lot of joy. And the recognition of it and the encouragement to stay in it and to cultivate it, to share it, which you are doing, but it's more of a recognition of that.
Yeah.
And then she's just saying that some yellow foods would help, especially over the next 1 week. I don't know if you have something particular happening over the next week, but she's saying yellow will help with that. So lemon water, bananas, pineapple, yellow bell pepper, yellow squash. A lot of squashes are yellow. I don't know if you love quinoa. It's kind of that yellow white. So hey Edwin, I love you.
Where did you put my Bengal game?
I don't know, sweetie. Which game?
Where did you put my game from? Someone that gave me the one with the letters.
It's in the dining room on the table, on the buffet. Go ask.
The big table
Mima.
by the. He said over by the.
Sorry about that. It's my little nephew. So yellow would definitely be supportive of your next 1 week. And he was wearing a yellow shirt. How are you feeling? How is that resonating for you, all that?
Yeah, really nice. And I can feel, as you say, the link to the joy, like really just sitting with the joy of that.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you want to ask while I'm here?
I'd be curious about lung nourishing foods that offer lung nourishment.
Lung
Of the
nourishment.
lung.
For you in particular, she's pointing back to the yellow foods. in general, for lungs, I think of, in my cleanse, we talk about lungs and colon being associated as, those are organs of grief, right? And the colon's more associated with grief of our former selves, and the lungs are more associated with like a grief of a loved one lost. So that might not be the case at all. However, when I see foods for lungs, I see like, again, it's funny, things with zinc and magnesium. I see a lot of dark leafy greens and sweet potatoes, like those squashes, root vegetables, and things like that could go in your sautés that you were talking about. Collard greens, things with folic acid. Yeah, how does that feel?
Good. Good.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and ground this and then come away from you. Just thanking her and you for letting me connect with you today. And Brenda's reminding us that yellow is the vibrational aspect of joy.
Yes, joy. I'm certainly looking for more joy. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Dominique. That was amazing. I really appreciated our exchange today.
I really appreciated it too. Thank you.
Is there anything you want to share with everyone about the Harmonics embodiment experience that we have coming up?
Yeah, I really, yes, I want to, oh, I've got a bit of feedback. Can you hear that? No, okay, I'll go ahead. Just that the power of 6 perspectives on one's, I guess, step forward, because this is what I experience to be, that it isn't all, it's almost like a container or an incubator. These 6 energies will shape shift someone into really having a big transformational shift. So it's enabling something that is, you know, times 6. And 6, of course, is the number of the balance between masculine and feminine. So it's a number of holisticness and the wholeness of the polarity. So it really, I think it's a Harmonics embodiment experience is such an opportunity to integrate so much in 6 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just really want to encourage people to join.
Yes, definitely.
Have that.
Really bringing your voice, then, you know, your expression to the world, bringing essence into form, bringing ideas through to creation, because we're tapping into that soul's potential, like that soul harmonic, and your full potential in that way. And like you said, it's just such a phenomenal value with the 6 of us, and you're doing this, and I see it in a very similar way in the energy with the clients in the middle, and the receivers in the middle, and they give the 6 of us kind of out there like spokes of a wheel. And I'm just, every time we get together also, it's also so much fun. It's just, we have such a blast, right? And we really get in that energy of that joy and laughter and creation in that way. And it's just so much fun. And our bodies like viscerally respond to fun, and so does the universe. Like that's the energy of creativity and everything. So I'm really stoked to do it. It begins on August 27th, you guys, in another 10 days here. It goes through to September 1st, so it's a 6-day experience with a private Facebook group, and each day a different practitioner and a really interactive webinar experience with you. And it's only $333 for this whole experience, and there's payment plans even available for that. So super stoked, super excited about the Harmonics embodiment experience. And you just got a little bit of the energy of what the two of us do, but there's 6 of us coming through. So that's what it's all about.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for starting your day with me and ending mine. Dominique, I really appreciate you. And if you guys want to connect with Dominique and haven't yet, definitely, do you want to share your website or your page that they can come connect with you?
Yeah, you can come and connect with me on my page, which is Dominique Oyston. And the website is thegoddessvoiceacademy.com.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so both.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. If you're just joining, go ahead and watch from the beginning. Love you so much. Dominique, appreciate you so much. And we'll see you in the Harmonics embodiment experience.
Thank you, Amanda. Big love. See you.